Hello everyone and welcome back to another Wizard101 video. Today we're talking about Wysteria and is it worth doing in Wizard101. This is my third time recording this video because the first time I didn't like it, the second time I finished, and then I found out that for some reason my microphone was unplugged. So I recorded the entire thing and it had no mic audio, which kind of sucked. So third time's the charm. Here we are talking about is Wysteria worth doing in Wizard101. Now the reason why I wanted to do this is because in this game there are only two side worlds in the entire game. There's Grizzleheim, which I talked about in Is Grizzleheim Worth Doing, which is about 110 quests long, and then I was like, well, there's only one other side world in the whole game, being Wysteria. So I figured it'd be worth it to talk about, is Wysteria as a whole worth doing? Because it is an entire side world, and, you know, compared to other side dungeons, there's a lot of content in Wysteria. I mean, a lot might be stretching it, but it is more than you'd expect for a piece of side content in Wizard101. So I figured I would talk about, is Wysteria worth doing in Wizard101? Wysteria is started at level 25 by coming to Merle Ambrose here in his office. You pick up the quest to the Registrar and it'll lead you on a long line of quests, not really long, but a line of quests to go to Wysteria. Now, Wysteria, the entire point of it is that it is a competition between other schools of magic for the Spiral Cup. Ravenwood has competed in this in the past, apparently, and every time we have lost like the losers we are. So you come to Mr. Lincoln here, he gives you a ring, and he's like, don't lose this, because if you lose this, it's gonna be pretty bad for you. That is foreshadowing 101. You know, if you took a college course on foreshadowing, this would probably be given as an example. I mean, not really, but that I digress. You come to Wysteria, and Mrs. Dowager here in the beginning is basically the equivalent of Mr. Lincoln, and she'll talk to you and be like, wow, welcome to our wonderful world of Wysteria. Look around, have fun, and don't lose like the rest of the Ravenwood students. Kind of the entire point of Wysteria is it's supposed to be like, not a cheap knockoff, but it's supposed to be mirroring Ravenwood, and you know, we see that by their 7 different schools of magic, except they have different names than what we're used to. Instead of fire, there's ember. Instead of storm, there's tempest. Instead of life, there's earth. Instead of Bartleby the giant tree, all of their source of magic is this random well outside of the tournament hall. Now, basically, the whole idea of it is that we're supposed to look at it and go like, wow, this is just Ravenwood, but worse. And that's kind of the entire point. Realistically, the School of Ember doesn't have any unique spells because it is just the School of Fire with a different name. Now, following the main quest line, basically what you're going to be doing in Wysteria in the 38 quests total is you're just going to be doing a bunch of chores. You show up, you beat someone in the tournament, and then you go to Belladonna Crisp, and she's like, hey, Pegasus Place is overrun by goblins. Go solve that issue. And it's like, why do we have to do that? We're just a random student from Ravenwood. But okay, fine, fair enough. You know what? I will do it. So you go through Pegasus Place, find the source of the goblins, which is a portal over here. You beat up Lord Graustark up here. After finding the source of the goblins, it turns out, oh no, the Spiral Cup is stolen. And there's vines here. Turns out that the Spiral Cup Gauntlet is stolen, and we were implicated in it by that ring that we decided to just put in a random dresser instead of, oh, I don't know, keeping it in our backpack. But basically we go through the rest of the world and the quests. Everyone thinks that we stole it, but obviously we didn't steal it. And we end up finding out that Lord Bramble, who is the final boss of kind of the world in Tanglewood Way, brainwashed Chester Drawers and forced him to steal it. And then, you know, we beat up him at some point and free him from the control, and we get the Spiral Cup Gauntlet back. We win the Spiral Cup. Basically, the entire world culminates in us winning, and you know, even from winning, we get the badge A+ student, I believe, which is, yeah, completing all the storyline quests in Wysteria. So the entire, basically, the point of it is us being good at the game. Alright, similar to the Grizzleheim video, let's go over the pros and then the cons of doing Wysteria. And I'm not gonna lie to you, the pros section is significantly shorter for Wysteria than it is for Grizzleheim. The main reason to do Wysteria is honestly just if you want to have fun and have a little bit extra time playing Wizard101. There isn't basically anything that makes Wysteria worth doing. You get about 2 levels from doing it, which is okay. It's a bit of extra XP, but it's not like a sizable increase or anything like Wintertusk where you gain like 10+ levels. Besides that, there's really nothing. There's nothing. It's a fun time. You might have like an hour of questing to do, but that's basically it. So yeah, might be the shortest pros section I've ever made. Let's look at the cons section. Honestly, it's not that fun of a world. It's only 38 quests long. It's not that long, but it's just like, it goes by in a breeze, and it's mostly just you walking back and forth. There's so much walking in this world, like walking back and forth between two people, that it is ridiculous. The fights to like walking section, there's probably only like 10 actual fights in this world compared to like 20 plus walking quests, which kinda sucks, not gonna lie. On top of that, there's nothing gear wise to do in this world. You get those 2 levels, but that's it. You're not getting any good gear, you're not getting any spells, you're not getting anything like astoundingly good. The only real thing that you can get in this world that's interesting and unique in terms of drops is A, something I'm going to talk about in a minute, but B is Baron von Bracken in Tanglewood Way, which if you go to Tanglewood Way, he's a gold skeleton key boss, but getting a gold skeleton key at level 25 is going to be next to impossible. You can get 1 from doing all the Wizard City side quests, you can get 2 from doing all the Krakatopia side quests, but beyond that, you're not going to get a 3rd gold skeleton key. So you have 2 chances to get 35 Pigsy Spellements, which you're not going to get, which by the way, Pigsy is the reason why you'd want to do Baron von Bracken, because it is a very good healing spell for life. It's slightly better than Unicorn, but otherwise, like, that's all it really does for you. It is good, don't get me wrong, and it is worth farming if you're on a life, but that's really the only thing you would get from this world. So cons, yeah, that's basically it. And let me just talk about a final thing that I want to talk about real fast, and that is the fact that on death, this world is just annoying. I'm not gonna lie, because like, I did this on my death recently. I soloed through it. It took about, I don't know, an hour and 10 minutes, which isn't that long. And in that hour and 10 minutes, every enemy that I came across that was life used a death shield. And it was just the most frustrating thing of all time because, you know, I either had to pierce the shield or I had to, you know, remove it by using a 1-pip spell. It's just not fun if you're on a death, if I'm going to be honest. So that's kind of it really for the pros and cons section. Let's move to another section of this video that I need to talk about, and that is the Tower of the Helephant. Now, the Tower of the Helephant right here in Pegasus Place is a level 60 dungeon similar to Waterworks and similar to Zigzag that you can get 2 main drops from. There's the Aureate Band and the Lexicon Blade. Now, one of them's dropped from the very first boss of this dungeon, and one is dropped from the very last boss of this dungeon.
Palace, someone else has found the...
Someone has found our rope, yes. Now you can see if I walk into this fight right here, this is not an easy dungeon. They do have some cheats, and if you're not being carried through by a max level, you're going to find this dungeon probably very annoying. Like if you're doing this on a level 60 wizard, you're not going to have a fun time. So yeah, you can see it's like a -90 shield. I'm not going to go over all the cheats of this dungeon. I have an entire video on is Tower of Helephant worth doing, but let me just sum up Tower of the Helephant by saying, realistically, no. The Lexicon Blade and Aureate Band are interesting. They are decent for level 60. Don't get me wrong. They're good for level 60. However, they aren't good enough to be worth farming because they have 2 major drawbacks. First off, you're going to be getting a ring and athame that are almost just as decent just from like the bazaar. Like the Wintertusk, athame, and ring are going to be basically just as good as these, slightly weaker maybe, but not like anything astoundingly weaker. On top of that, these items are no trade, so you have to farm them on the character you're on, and if you want to use them in the future on a different character, you're not going to be able to because you'd have to farm them entirely again from scratch. You can see here, this fight isn't that hard on a max level. I do have my attack deck on, so I'm not going to be able to win. I believe maybe once his minion is dead, he removes that shield. I don't know. I'm not going to talk about the cheats at length in this video. Just trust me when I say the Tower of the Helephant in terms of like time to value ratio is just not worth doing. I don't know really anyone who ever farms for the Lexicon Blade and the Aureate Band. Like, despite the fact that they are decent, no one farms for them. So Tower of the Helephant is an interesting dungeon, don't get me wrong. It was cool that KingStyle added it, but it's something that hasn't been touched since like 2011, and it's something that's never worth doing nowadays. So it's definitely a skip. If you're just talking about Pigswick as a whole, it's nothing to be talking about. All right, so now that we've gone over the pros and cons, and then we've talked about the Tower of the Helephant, let's get into the section of the video, is Wysteria worth doing? And I'm just gonna flat out say no. Unfortunately, unlike Grizzleheim, where there's many reasons to do it, Wysteria, there's just no reason to do it. Like, you get a few levels, but that's it. There's nothing special, there's nothing unique. It is just a world purely there for the lore. If you want to do it for, you know, the story and meeting some characters, go for it, but I'm not even gonna lie to you, I genuinely think story-wise, this world's pretty boring. It's nothing like outstandingly good. It doesn't have anything really to offer. Like, even story-wise, it's just not interesting. I don't know. I never found it to be interesting. I mean, maybe back when I was a kid and I really liked Harry Potter, sure, I was like, ooh, cool, like Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. That's kind of what this world is. And then, but like now it's just like, whatever. I don't know. I don't find it to be that interesting. Is it worth doing? No. I might make some videos in the future on is other areas of the game worth doing, like, you know, maybe like is Atlantia or Tartarus worth doing, or like different worlds or different side dungeons like that. But I figured that at the very least I could start with Wysteria and Grizzleheim because they are side worlds and they're an entire like commitment to do. So I figured that it would be worth talking about them. And unfortunately, the answer to Wysteria is that it doesn't have anything of value to offer. It's just 38 quests where most of them are walking. So that's going to be it for today. Let me know in the comments below, do you do Wysteria usually? Do you skip it? Do you enjoy doing Wysteria, or do you disagree and think that it is worth doing? I'd like to know your opinions in the comments below, but otherwise, that's it for today. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Have a fantastic day.